Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. If you look at the recent developments, especially in the last 4 days, it's clear to me that Wafula Chebukati, from where he is, he knows he is facing an imminent arrest. And that is so because Chebukati was exposed as carrying out some frauds at IEBC. First of all, Chebukati claimed that the 3 Venezuelans who were arrested and detained were employees of Smartmatic Technologies. That was refuted by IEBC CEO Hussein Marjan. That did expose Wafula Chebukati as lying to Kenyans. And that's a fraud from where I sit. Secondly, from the stickers, IEBC stickers that were confiscated, it was clear that they were mainly from counties perceived to be William Ruto's strongholds. And I honestly believe that was also not by a coincidence. Why were these stickers being sneaked into the country, and then all of a sudden it happens that there are stickers mainly in counties seen as William Ruto's strongholds? Wafula Chebukati might have deliberately, illegally added some extra 10,000 polling stations, because we were told that those stickers were for 10,000 polling stations. And from what we saw, the counties those stickers were going are all counties perceived to be William Ruto's strongholds. So Chebukati might have deliberately, illegally created or added an additional over 10,000 polling stations. Those are just some few reasons why I know Wafula Chebukati might be facing an imminent arrest if the law was to be followed to the letter. Wafula Chebukati must be made to answer some of those hard questions. So in this video, I want us to dig deep to see exactly what can happen in the event Wafula Chebukati is arrested and not able to preside over this year's elections. But before we do that, in case you are watching us for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Yes. Yesterday, a group of Azimio leaders, led by Edwin Sifuna, called for the arrest of Wafula Chebukati. And they made it very clear Chebukati is not above the law. He can be arrested. Yes. And if you look at it keenly, I think that's the only remaining option of dealing with Wafula Chebukati. Because if you look at the legal procedure of removing a commissioner of IEBC, or rather from IEBC, Kenyans don't have that time. It's almost impossible if the procedures were to be followed, because according to the Constitution, we only have 3 procedures of removing a commissioner. Number 1 is through tribunal, which is not possible now. Number 2, the commissioners themselves resigning, which is also not possible. Chebukati most likely is not willing to resign. And the third option is to prevail upon the commissioners, maybe to be paid the remainder of their term, or rather of the duration remaining, after which they resign, which also I think is not possible. The only means and route now to deal with Chebukati and any IB commissioner is just to arrest them and, if possible, detain them. Because Wafula Chebukati is coming out more as a terrorist now. And we have also been seeing some terrorists being arrested and the prosecutor requesting time for them to be detained as investigation continues. From where I sit, that's the only means and maybe the only route I'm seeing of legally dealing with Wafula Chebukati. And I'm saying that because, again, if you look at the Constitution, the legal quorum, or rather the quorum required of IBC, are 4 commissioners. Currently, there are 7, Wafula Chebukati inclusive. Without Wafula Chebukati, there will be 6 commissioners. IBC Vice Chairman Chirera will just take over the role of Wafula Chebukati, assuming he's arrested, detained, and is not able to perform his function as IEBC chair. His vice chairperson will just take over. And that's the only way, in my honest opinion, I believe Wafula Chebukati can be dealt with properly. And again, if you look at Wafula Chebukati, the issues that were raised by DCI Kinoti, Wafula Chebukati has so far not come out to respond to them or to explain to Kenyans what exactly happened. Look at that. But anytime we see Wafula Chebukati coming to the press, he's just making Kenyans to doubt him more. The things Wafula Chebukati, or rather the remarks he makes, anytime he comes to the press, or rather to the public, he wants to talk to the public, are just remarks that makes Kenyans to have even little faith, or rather trust, in the commission. So in my honest opinion, just as I've been stating, Wafula Chebukati is clearly incompetent. And the only way now to deal with Wafula Chebukati, arrest and detain him. Because upon being detained, I know he won't be able to carry his function as the IBC chair. Those are just some maybe rules I'm seeing on how IBC, or rather Wafula Chebukati, can be dealt with at IEBC. And also, if you look at things objectively, I'm also seeing a likely possibility where William Ruto and his team, and this is something I've been stating in my previous videos, William Ruto and his team, they might just be creating a perception that, you know, we are working with that IBC. IBC is on our side. It might also just be a clever propaganda. You know, William Ruto and his team are experts in propaganda. It may be just a propaganda that they might be having some serious deals with IEBC. As much as Wafula Chebukati is clearly coming out as a person or leaning towards William Ruto and his team, behind the scenes, or if you look at it keenly, it may just be another smart politics being played by William Ruto and his team. And Wafula Chebukati is a person who maybe William Ruto is just using to play that game. And the game, as I did state in my earlier videos, William Ruto is afraid of this year's elections. And William Ruto is praying from wherever he is, he's praying very hard that something should happen for this year's election not to happen. Because he knows already he's trailing Raila Odinga. So he knows that if there is an election, he is most likely going to lose in the elections. So I'm seeing a William Ruto who is seriously praying for this year's elections not to happen. And by doing that again, I'm seeing Wafula Chebukati might also be playing into those games by William Ruto, because if you look at Wafula Chebukati, the way he's carrying himself out, the way he's behaving, is just clearly coming out as incompetent. So Wafula Chebukati might be doing that deliberately to anger the government into into reacting. And by government reacting, they even have the power to actually postpone election. Yeah, the government has that power. They can just declare some state of emergency in Kenya. There is some serious, they can just maneuver, and then we cannot have elections this year. But I tend to believe if the government does that, they are just playing into the arms of Wafula Chebukati and William Ruto. So the only best option is not to postpone this year's election. Let Wafula Chebukati be arrested, and if possible, let him be detained. Yes, we have seen terrorists, the prosecutor asking the court for terrorists to be detained for some times. Let me leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you are watching us for the very first time, but so far you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you. God bless Kenya. To any other person, that's the kind of analysis we do here. We don't beat about the bush. We call it as it is. God bless you. God bless Kenya.